What's up, you guys? It's ThomasTube coming back at you again with another YouTube video, and today we are reading. So basically, I don't really have a plan for this video. Well, I do. So basically, my plan for this video is just to read. I've been setting a goal for myself to read 2 books every month. So I had bought a book, but it was 400 pages and I didn't start it in time. So yesterday, I went out and I bought a really small book of Mice and Men. I don't know if this is going to be my favorite book. It seems pretty okay, but it also doesn't seem like I'm going to connect with it. But no, don't judge a book by its cover, right? Basically, from what I understand, this book is about these 2 guys and they're living in, I think, the Great Depression, I'm not sure. And they live on this field and they have dreams of like making it big and getting an acre of land or something like that. I honestly don't know. But I figured it's only 100 pages. If I don't finish it by Friday, that's going to be embarrassing for me. And I figured I would also annotate it. I've been kind of scared to do it for like books that I really like. I don't know. I feel like I should leave books alone. But I figured it'd be good for the video to like annotate it and remember my thoughts. And I'm not going to record every sitting, but hopefully every day I'll sit down and talk about it. This probably is going to be a spoiler included review. But yeah, I have to look into this. I think I'm going to start. Today is Tuesday. So I've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then Saturday is May 1st. Let's just start the video. I've been talking too long. Okay, so it's currently Friday, May 30th. I did not end up recording every day like I thought I was. But honestly, I was reading late at night, so I wasn't really in the mood to record. But I have until the end of the day to finish the book. I am going to finish it. I am on page 76 and it goes to page 107. I think I'm just going to finish the book and then talk about it. I'm not gonna do, like I said before, I'm not gonna do a time lapse. I'm just going to read and then I'll talk about it probably for a little bit at the end. I definitely do have thoughts on it, so I will have stuff to talk about, but yeah. Okay, everyone, so I just finished the book of Mice and Men, and I do understand why people said it was sad at the end. I also feel like I don't get connected to characters that easily, so for me it wasn't that sad. I'll talk about it in a non-spoiler point of view first, and then I'll talk about it in a spoiler point of view. In terms of the story, I don't really think it needed any more pages in it. I think it was fine. Also liked how there's details, like there's very descriptive imagery throughout the book. And that's kind of surprising to me considering there's only 100 pages. But there's definitely like the pictures are painted, the scenes are painted. The characters have some personality in them. I wouldn't say that they're like relatable, but they do have a personality. They're also very much caricatures. They're very much like, some of these people, there's no way they could exist in real life. But also some of them, like Crooks, you kind of can have empathy for him and you can understand his point of view. Honestly, for me, I did not like Lenny at all. I think the point of him is to be kind of like, okay, everybody feels bad for him because he's always trying to do right. But I don't know if it's just my personality, but I could not stand him. He was so annoying. My thing is, he just needed help. He needed to be in a mental facility. But of course, this was like the 1930s, I think. Lenny is one of the guys, he's really big and bulky. But he's basically like a kid still. He's mentally still a kid. That's what I mean when I say I think he needed like mental help. He was not living in an environment that was suitable for him. And then there's George, which is the other guy, and he's kind of like not his caretaker. He's not obligated. Lenny used to be taken care of by his Aunt Clara, but then she died. Oh, it actually did say, I think they used to like hang out, and then that when Aunt Clara died, George took to kind of looking after him. And they've been like going around ever since, like trying to find work. But Lenny is very problematic, and he likes to touch things. He likes to touch soft things. That's probably a regular thing for people, but at that time period it wasn't understood and it wasn't it didn't want to be understood. Nobody cared. Anyway, so Lenny basically makes them lose their last job and they run away. The story starts with them going to this new ranch to work, and they have this grand plan that they're going to make a bunch of money and buy a ranch and have their own little, acre of land and live their best life and go to the carnival whenever they want to. But there's complications with Lenny and with the people at the new job that they get, picking wheat, I think, or barley. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into the spoiler containing review. So if you haven't read the book, literally just read it. It's $12, so it's cheaper than your average book. It's 107 pages. You could read it in a day. I just have school and other things. But yeah, so here we go into the spoilers. So this was the first book that I annotated. And I didn't, basically what I did was just anytime I saw something that I had a thought on, I just wrote it down in the corner or on the side of the page. But the start of the book surprised me in the dialect of it. I was not expecting, I kind of expected it to be very much like Great Gatsby kind of talk, how they're all proper. But no, these are like country boys, they're living out, I think it's in Salinas. Lenny's whole character surprised me at first because I was like, okay, why is he carrying around a dead mouse? Really? Like, that's weird, that's nasty. Throughout the book, as I got to know them better, I still was annoyed with Lenny, but I wasn't surprised anymore. Also, I was not ready for the usage of the N-word. Wasn't ready for that. It didn't ruin the book for me, but I just wish I would have been prepared. Throughout the book, he kind of stops this. But in the beginning of the book, George is very rude to Lenny, saying that he doesn't need him. But my thing is if you don't need him, then just leave. So obviously he does need him, and I think he did. In the end of the book, I feel like he did have a emotional connection to him. He genuinely did have a love for him. I really only liked Crooks and Candy. I felt bad for Candy when they killed his dog. There was no reason for them to kill that dog. Crooks, I liked that we got to look into him in I think it's the 3rd chapter, where we kind of understand him, because they definitely could have let him be just a side character, but they really explored him and explored his mindset, and I think that was important, and it was interesting to me at least. And then Candy, I think his story, we didn't look into his story too much as well, but he was, out of Lenny, George, and Candy, he was the only one that I felt bad for, that he didn't get his live out that little dream of living on an acre, because I feel like he's crippled, he lost his hand, and he kind of knew his time was up. He genuinely hadn't done anything wrong, and he had the money too. He had a lot of money saved up to do it. I don't know, Curly's wife, I don't think they ever gave her a name, which is wrong. She has a name, but I didn't really I felt bad for her. But also, that's just kind of how the time period, at that time, that was, I guess, the standard was just marrying somebody the day you met them. I like that we got to see why she was the way she was, and her whole little backstory with being in a motion picture. Okay, I'll say this, it's not her fault that she was attention seeking, but because of her attention seeking, that resulted in her death. So I wouldn't say she had it coming, but it was just a bad situation. Lenny cannot control himself. Like I said, he needs help, and she was just eager to get away from Curly, because wouldn't you want to get away from Curly? Carlson, he wasn't too important. I didn't really like him. At first I thought I would like him, but he was okay. I liked Slim. He seemed like a good character. He just seemed overall nice to everybody. In terms of the ending, I think it was kind of sad, but that was kind of in reality, it kind of was the best option. Lenny would have died scared if Curly got to him. And then, like they said, if they just locked Lenny up, he'd go insane. That's no life to live. I feel like it's good that he died the way he did, being comforted by the whole acre of land and the rabbits. First of all, I wish he wouldn't have killed her. Honestly, that was probably the best. I don't have any more thoughts right now. Most of my annotations are just telling the characters to be quiet, or being oh my gosh, can't believe this happened. I think overall this is a pretty good story. It's not my favorite. If I had to choose between this and something else, I wouldn't choose this. But it's a good little read, especially I feel like if you're like getting back into reading. This is kind of fast paced, so you don't get bored. I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5 because it's an okay story. It's obviously like biased and it's a sign of the times. If you can get past that, then it's okay. I think that's all I have to say, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.